Hi, I'm Leah.
Hi, I am Sunny.
Today, we would like to talk about how Tonga is playing its part in addressing climate change.
Climate change is a global equalizer, in that it affects all of us in Tonga, our neighbours in the Pacific, and those around the world.
In response to the climate crisis, 195 countries around the world came together to take action on climate change by ratifying the Paris Agreement in December 2015. The key goal of the Paris Agreement is to reduce global greenhouse gas emissions and restrict the increase in global temperature to well below 2 degrees Celsius and to limit the temperature increase even further to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Other goals include enhancing all countries' adaptive capacity and strengthen resilience to the changing climate and providing support to developing countries, such as Tonga, to take effective climate actions. Under the Paris Agreement, all countries make a pledge, known as a Nationally Determined Contribution, or NDCs in short form, to reduce their national greenhouse gas emissions and take domestic actions to adapt to the impacts of climate change. The Paris Agreement holds a special significance for the small island developing states, and especially Pacific Island countries like Tonga. Pacific Island countries are among the least responsible for historic global greenhouse gas emissions, which cause climate change. Tonga contributes less than 0.0004% of the total global greenhouse gas emissions. Yet Tonga is more likely to suffer from the adverse effects of climate change. We will face more severe tropical cyclones, drought, and sea level rise.
Tonga has been a strong advocate, along with our Pacific Island neighbours, to ensure global action on climate change. Tonga's NDC is ambitious, and the targets include reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 2030 by increasing the share of electricity generation from renewable sources to 70%, reducing losses in our electricity distribution by 9% by 2020,
and doubling the number of marine protected areas by 2030.
The NDC also envisions a resilient Tonga by enhancing the resilience of public infrastructure, buildings, coastal protection, forestry, and agriculture sectors, as well as strengthening government capacity to respond to disasters and climate change. The government has worked diligently, often with international support, to align our national policies to actions addressing climate change. These include, amongst others, agreeing to a Tonga climate change policy in 2016, Joint National Action Plan on Climate Change and Disaster Risk Management in 2018, completing the Tonga Energy Roadmap in 2010, and drafting an Energy Efficiency Master Plan in 2020.
As on 2020, 11% of our electricity generated is from renewable energy sources, and our electricity transmission losses are now below 9%. The Paris Agreement requires that countries report on their progress to meeting NDC targets, and every 5 years the target must be reviewed and potentially enhanced. Tonga assessed the progress made on the NDC targets from 2015 and identified opportunities to strengthen the efforts to mitigate and adapt to climate change. Subsequently, the government of Tonga prepared and submitted its enhanced second NDC in 2020.
Under the second NDC, we will continue to economically increase the use of renewable energy and increase agroforestry cover.
We will protect our marine areas and make our infrastructure and communities more resilient and responsive to climate change disasters. We will continue to play our part in mitigating climate change and building a resilient future for our people, land, and oceans.